Hello, this is Kate, the Daily Tarot Girl, and welcome to your weekly tarot card reading. For this week's reading, I am using a new deck that I just got. It's the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot, and the artist is Giulia F. Massaglia. All right. So I'm going to choose 3 cards for the week ahead, and my intention, as always, is to get a nice broad general overview of some of the themes, some of the energies, and some of the opportunities that might be coming up for us in the next few days or so. Now, if you enjoy this reading, please leave me a comment, give me a like, and please subscribe to my channel. For some reason, my subscriptions are lower than they've ever been. I've been on YouTube I don't know, since 2012 or something crazy. I've been on YouTube for a while, so but I've noticed my subscriber rate has dropped a lot. So if you're watching and you like the video and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel. It would totally make my day. Okay, first card is for the beginning of the week, so Monday and Tuesday-ish of the upcoming week. Okay, and these cards are super pretty because they've got shiny gold in the images. It's really nice. All right, so we have the Queen of Cups for the beginning of the week. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so Queen of Cups, and she has such an interesting expression on her face. It's kind of an unreadable expression. I don't know what to make of it, what she's thinking there, but she seems to be protecting the cup that she's holding. She has like this gentle hand, like this healing hand that she has on the cup. It feels a little bit protective or something. It's like she's doing Reiki on the cup that she's holding. So the Queen of Cups is all about the realm of emotion, the realm of feeling and relationships. And this queen has really mastered the art of working with her emotions, her feelings, and she knows how to express herself in relationships and how to share her feelings. And she's very sensitive and empathetic and very good at picking up on others' feelings. But because she's a queen, she knows how to have healthy boundaries. So she knows how to be empathetic and sensitive. And she knows how to pick up on others' feelings without that crossing her boundaries. So she doesn't get too trying to think how to describe this, but she knows how to be loving and compassionate and to tune into others' feelings without taking on their feelings as her own or feeling overly responsible for another's feeling. She cares about people around her and about the well-being of everyone, but she doesn't completely sacrifice herself to taking care of others' feelings all of the time. So she knows how to maintain herself and keep those strong boundaries while still being very sensitive and very compassionate and loving and caring. So that's kind of her message at the beginning of the week. It's saying the challenge at the beginning of the week might be to remain sensitive and compassionate and caring, but also to prioritize, boundaries and knowing the difference between, helping someone and caring for someone versus completely negating your own self in order to care for another person. So that I feel is kind of the message with the Queen of Cups. But she's also telling you to honor your sensitivity and to know that your ability to be sensitive to the realm of energy, feelings, emotions, relationships is never a weakness. It's always a great strength. And you may have felt in the past that it was a weakness, like that you were too sensitive, but it's really just a boundary issue. It's not that you need tune down your sensitivity or turn down the volume on your heart or your caring. It's more about having, healthy boundaries. All right, let's have a look at the middle of the week. All right, so midweek, so Wednesday, Thursday-ish, we have the Hermit. Okay, the true beauty of these cards and the brightness and the aliveness doesn't really come through on camera very good because you're not seeing the shiny, the shiny gold. So these cards are way prettier in person. So we have the Hermit for the middle of the week. The Hermit is a major arcana card, and the major arcana cards, they have this kind of powerful, they pack a more powerful punch sometimes, as opposed to the minor arcana cards. And there is a real spiritual kind of energy to them. So the Hermit, and I think of the Hermit as being one of the more spiritual cards in the major arcana. The Hermit is all about the journey that you're on, and it's the journey of consciousness and awareness. And throughout your life, as you get older, hopefully you're becoming more and more conscious and aware of things. You get a different perspective the older that you get, and you're able to you're able to become more aware of certain patterns, certain things, and just bringing in more of that awareness and consciousness into your day-to-day life. That is the message of the Hermit. That's what the Hermit is all about. But what does he mean for this week? What is his message for this week? I feel like just as the Queen of Cups was telling you to really honor your sensitivity, the Hermit is telling you to honor your alone time. You might want to carve out some me time this week, some alone time for either spiritual practice, meditation, or just doing something that allows you to kind of turn off your brain for a little bit. Like even just going for a long walk in nature, or even doing something kind of methodical. Like I always found swimming laps in a pool, going for a walk, or even like cleaning my bathroom, like something that's just kind of methodical. I don't have to think too hard. It kind of allows me to turn off my brain. And that's when you get some really interesting insights, I think. That's when your soul sometimes talks to you and gives you messages. So the Hermit, well, this is what's interesting. So I see the Queen of Cups as being about your relationship to your feeling side, your emotional side, but also your relationship with others and how you kind of conduct yourself in your relationships with others, and how sensitive and how in your feelings you can be and in your emotions you can be while maintaining a connection to another. So Queen of Cups is kind of about your relationship with others, whereas the Hermit I see as being about your relationship to yourself and the relationship you have with your soul, with that greater part of yourself, whether you think of it as like your higher self or your total self or expanded self, but it's the relationship that you have with the spiritual realm and with that greater, older, wiser part of yourself. So midweek is a good time to check in with yourself and to prioritize having some kind of a spiritual practice where you connect with and communicate with your higher self or your soul. Whether that's through journaling, meditation, automatic writing, or maybe you have an art practice or something like that. But that's going to be really, really important this week. And then here we have the Knight of Pentacles for the end of the week. All right. So Knight of Pentacles is about moving forward at your own pace. Now, your own pace might be a little bit slower than what your mind thinks is ideal. So maybe in your head, you're telling yourself, I should be moving, I should be progressing more quickly. I should be figuring things out more quickly. But the Knight of Pentacles is saying, no, the pace that you're going at is the right pace for you. And really all of these cards are about slowing down, especially the Hermit. The Hermit is about slowing down and paying attention. And even, I don't necessarily think of the Queen of Cups as being about slowing down, but she's about tuning in to your emotions and your feelings. So both the Queen of Cups and the Hermit are about tuning in. It's about kind of journeying inward. Whereas the Knight of Pentacles isn't really about doing that. The Knight of Pentacles is about moving forward, but doing so at a pretty slow pace. And what that allows you to do is it allows you to stay aware. It allows you to pay closer attention. It allows you to think things through, to plan what your next move is going to be, to kind of get the lay of the land, to know what you're getting into as you move forward, as you make decisions, as you put one foot in front of the other. Doing it slowly allows you to do things thoughtfully. And that is important to the Knight of Pentacles. So don't be in a rush this week. What's more important this week is that you do things with quality. This week is not about quantity. It's not about speed. It's about presence. It's about awareness and, moving inward, slowing down, being present. It's all about the quality in which you do things, like the quality of your relationships and the types of conversations you're having with people. When you're spending time with another person, does it feel like quality time, or are they just kind of there? Like bringing that idea of quality, not quantity, to all these different aspects of your being, to your relationships with others, your relationship with yourself, your spiritual practice. And when it comes to your physical journey in this body, in this lifetime, really doing things slowly and thoughtfully and not being in a big hurry. Okay. Is there anything else I want to mention? Sometimes the Knight of Pentacles can show up, like the dark side of the Knight of Pentacles is procrastination. And so sometimes it's hard to know the difference between, am I procrastinating on something or am I just moving slowly? So that's maybe a challenge that we'll all sort of experience in some way this week is, being able to move slowly and think things through, but not falling into that trap of just procrastination and just putting things off because you don't want to deal with it. There's a difference between those two things. Okay, so I think that's all. I don't think there's anything else I want to mention. I feel like the messages were pretty clear, pretty concise. Feel free to share your own thoughts on these cards. If you have your own take or something you want to add, or if you just want to share, how these cards resonated with you, feel free to do so in the comments. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching. If you want to learn more about tarot, check out my website, dailytarotgirl.com. I've got lots of fun tarot learning resources there for you to check out. And also check out my channel. I've got videos on many of the cards, not all of them. I am slowly working my way through the minor arcana cards, and I'm going to have actually quite a few videos coming up pretty quickly on the twos in the minor arcana. So 2 of Pentacles, 2 of Swords, 2 of Cups, 2 of Wands. I just finished the scripts for all of them, so I just have to film the videos and get them up for you. So thanks everyone for being so patient. I know it takes me a while to get those videos up. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful week.